Couple of times no shows. We used to have, when I played baseball in high school, it was not a popular sport here in high school. Our coach used to look out and he'd say, a few thousand no shows again today. Oh, they go down. Softball. But back then they did this.
2 days in a row.
Morning.
Yeah, it was a little bit worse last time. No, there's a hairline drive to get in.
What do you usually, when he said we're going live? Like, we don't have any protection. What our protection?
We didn't hire him. I guess he didn't get anybody to do it.
I don't think we did.
Put it in the books. Maybe
Okay.
Thanks.
Are we ready? Everybody's ready. Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of Trinity Bay Conservation District. Today is Wednesday, October 8th, 2025 at 9 a.m. And we will begin, as always, with invocation, pledge of allegiance.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee. Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
No one signed up for public comment. Item number 4 on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the public hearing and regular meeting held September 10th, 2025.
I was not here for last month's meeting. I did read over the minutes. I'll say it again, it looks like y'all had a very, very good meeting. So I don't feel that I can approve the minutes as written.
I make a motion to approve minutes of public hearing, regular meeting held September 10th, 2025.
I have a motion.
Mr. President, I think I can approve,
We
second that amendment.
Okay,
Second that.
I understand. We can table this until the next.
You can vote, Victor.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I can second it.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll second the motion, and I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. The motion carries. Item number 5 is approved financial reports for September 30th, 2025.
The general fund, our revenues were $68,194.07. Our expenditures were $675,912.02. We're 100% into the fiscal year, and we expended 79.62% of our budget. Our fund balances were $7,262,816.21. The reason our expenditures were so high was our insurance hits at the end of the month. So those were two very big hits for both accounts. We ended up with $200,000 in the positive. On the drainage, it's very high. I explained once before that I put $400,000 in that I thought we were going to receive for grant money, and another $400,000 for some engineering services that we did not use. So I made that $800,000 up. So like I say, we ended up in the black, $200,000 for the whole year. So we almost spent it all. Water and sewer revenues were $704,515.24. Our expenditures were $1,465.85. We're 100% into the fiscal year, and we expended 92.17% of the budget. We did not make 100% of the money that I suggested that we were going to make. In the water and sewer, we made more money than I projected, and so we did well there. But on the water and sewer taps, we sold so many last year, we didn't sell that many this year, so we were kind of short. But with the 92.17%, we ended up in the black in this account also.
Yeah, we were, the revenue was 95%, so we were still good.
Yes. So we ended up under budget both accounts.
Ways.
Again, 100%, 92.17 for the year, and the balances were $7,262,816.21 in the bank.
Make a motion, we accept the financial reports for September 30, 2025.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 6, approve the tax report for September 30th, 2025.
Chambers County, we received $25,367.38 with a collection rate of 99.86%. This time last year, we received $32,549.06 with a collection rate of 98.97%. Pretty good ratio this year.
Make a motion to approve tax reports September 30, 2025.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Jefferson County, we received 51 cents with a collection rate of 96.56. Last year, we didn't receive any money from Jefferson County at this time, and we had a collection rate of 95.51%.
Good. Item number 7 is to review and consider approval of accounts receivable and payable.
Accounts receivable for the month was $12,868.05. The unpaid accounts were $581,836.09. Accounts payable for the month were $956,047.28. Our utility construction fund, where we paid East Texas Utilities, was $292,379.94.
Make a motion, we approve the accounts, but, I make a motion, we approve the accounts payable.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item 8, discuss and take action on the 2025-2026 board meeting schedule.
Yes, sir. Here's a list of the dates that we've chosen. They're pretty much in the beginning to the middle of the month, pretty much around what we had this year. And so that usually works pretty good for Kate's schedule, I think.
Yes, it does.
So anyway, So anyway, this is a list of our meetings for next year.
I know this works good for Kate, and I also know that when I read the meeting minutes from last month, that there was some discussion about electing a vice president. You want to wait till you have a full board. Is this something that we want to wait until we have a full board? Again, this works out good for our attorney's schedule.
I will say, I now have Anna, so if I need, it was just one conflict with a community court in Orange. So if she needs to cover that, that's fine. So it's really the pleasure of the board. If, Mr. Woody or Mr. Hankammer need it to be changed, that is the pleasure of the board.
Well, Justin was here yesterday for a meeting we had with Anahuac, and he said he's going hunting he's not gonna make the next meeting because he's going hunting. So, I mean, it's flexible enough that if we need to change ahead of time, you say you're gonna be gone and y'all wanna change a meeting date or going on a cruise or something, they're flexible enough to change a week or so, whatever, a day or two,
The
whatever.
biggest thing is just the new, posting requirements, a little bit
Right.
more difficult because you're having to post 3 business days, so. But if you want, it's really the pleasure of the board. I think y'all have always been the second or third Wednesday of the month at 9 a.m. It's pretty much
That's also due to getting financials.
Correct.
What we're doing, we have to wait a little bit later to be able to get our financial stuff in.
Yeah.
For Alex to do the billing, and then it gets in Linda, her bid, we do her stuff. So some of those are worked around that as well.
The earlier in the month works better for me, but I'm flexible as well, so. doesn't
Well,
matter.
as long as we can change the schedule.
can move
as
it around a little
needed, on an as-need basis. I know Wes and Justin, they both work for a living. Not that the rest of us don't do anything.
I don't.
So I'll go ahead and make a motion that we accept the 2025-2026 board meeting schedule as presented.
Have a motion, a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Discuss and take action on the 2025-2026 holiday schedule.
These were the same, holidays that we had last year with 2 floating holidays. So pretty much we're mirroring what was the same thing we've done for the last few years.
Make a motion that we accept the 2025-2026 holiday schedule.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And Crystal made a very nice little spreadsheet here that shows you when the paydays are and when everything's happening and everything. So she'll make some copies and get it out to everybody so they have the schedule.
Item number 10, consider possible action renewing a 1-year contract for the emergency notification system with Regroup Mass Notification.
Last year, whenever we renewed this, we had about 300. Now we're up a little over 600. And Diane's on it. She does it weekends, night, day, whatever. And the people seem to like it. In my opinion, I think it's worth the money.
So it's costing $8 per customer that we serve,
Yes.
with it, the ones that choose to
Yes.
be on it.
We push it, everything in it, you sign up, you get a letter of it, everything on our website, Facebook page. So we push it very hard, but the people that do have it, appreciate it.
And all new customers, I send out when I send out their packet to pay, I give them a copy of this as well.
Good.
So they're signing up as they get new
As they
service.
get new
And when
service.
people come in to pay, is there something we can give them then?
We were doing that. If it's not super rushed, it's a whole lot easier. I tried to do it on one of the rush days and I got some out, but not all of them.
It's amazing the flow of traffic we have here.
Yeah, it is.
All the time.
It's really busy, but yes, we did tell the ladies up front that they need to hand them out, but I make sure I hand them out with the brand new ones.
I learn about, it's more people
Yeah. She's got it on Facebook.
Yeah.
We've got it on the website.
Try maybe remember to put it monthly on Facebook or something,
Well, I
but
can
just,
mention, like, when we do the full order notices, when the
Yeah.
guys do it, staple them to the back of those.
That
They
was,
don't bring them up here, we can staple them, and they don't,
Exactly.
or they're on the back of them,
that was a
Maybe
very
they'll
good
see
suggestion.
you know.
Because they're already putting them, if we do a door hanger and don't do we don't do the media, then the door hangers, that would be great, hanging it on all the doors. I mean, that was a great idea for her.
Way to get it out there.
So, I mean, we're
Yeah.
trying to think of anything and everything.
it's good, and, I'm with Jerry. I think we go another year and hopefully we'll pick up more.
And the ones that give me like their mailing address versus a service address, because it has to be the service address, and if they have more than one service address, they need to sign up for each one. I'm trying to contact them either through email or calling them to let them know. And I've even assisted some of them in signing up.
Very good.
So out of 600, how many are outstanding, do we think? Outstanding customers that are not,
So we have about 6,000 customers.
so we've got roughly, what, 10%?
10% signed up.
Now, we did double it,
We did double this year, yes.
so I guess I'm good with going an extra year. I make a motion, we extend the contract for 1 year for emergency notification system and with regroup mass notification.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Item 11, consider possible action approving resolution 2513, purchasing 2 half-ton pickups in water from Winnie Dodge and 1 1-ton from Silsbee Ford, financed through government capital for 3 years.
We talked about this in the budget workshop about financing 3 vehicles again. They are in the budget already. It's just for us to borrow the money. Kate has to sign off with a letter and the board has to have a resolution for us to borrow the money for 3 years. We're doing 3 payments of $60,000, $68,000, I believe it is. We've done this in the past and it's worked pretty well. Those are, I think we're on the 3rd year of the ones that we bought 2 years ago, so. These pickup trucks have 250,000 miles on them, and the 1-ton is the same way. So these are all, they need to be replaced.
Yeah, they need to.
These are all in the water.
Make a motion approving resolution 25-13, purchasing 2 1/2-ton pickup trucks in water for one from Winnie Dodge and 1 ton from Silsbee Ford, financed by government capital for 3 years.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
The pickup trucks were $48,860 a piece. The 1-ton was $80,432.20, and I believe that came with a bid, huh, David?
Yes.
That came with a bid on it.
Very good. Item number 12, purchase 3 replacement pieces of equipment in drainage. Komatsu Trackhoe PC 290LC-11, a Komatsu Dozer D61PX-24, and a Komatsu Trackhoe PC 130LC-11.
I mentioned this again in our budget workshop. We're replacing a Caterpillar Trackhoe that was it was bought in 2012. The Dozer is a D3, and we've had all kind of problems with it. We did a track job on it about 3 or 4 years ago, and it's about ready for a track job again, and so on and so forth. So it needs to be replaced. And the other one is a 308 Caterpillar, and we're replacing it with a PC 130, which is a little bit larger machine than the 308.
Roughly how many years does a piece of equipment like that last
Like I
us?
said, the
329, we've had for almost 15 years.
yeah,
Okay.
so, and,
And I personally worked that machine, that's what we go.
So it's like 10, 15 years
Yes.
on a piece of equipment.
Yes.
Okay, that's,
About 10, 11,000 hours.
okay.
And I think I bought in 2012, I bought 3 of them at one time because I bought before they did the death. So I bought 3 of them, and they had 3 on the yard, so I bought 3 of them, so we didn't have to use the death for the regeneration.
Gotcha.
So these are in the budget.
How much money are we spending through?
The
364,000.
364,000 for the 329, $375,000 for the dozer, and the mid-sized excavator was $196,760.
And from looking at all the work Amos and his crew have done over the last couple of years since I've been on the board, I think he definitely got his money's worth out of this equipment.
Runs every day.
So
$1 million worth of equipment?
I know that's right, but look what they've done.
That's it. I agree.
I make a motion, we purchase 3 pieces of equipment in drainage for the Komatsu Tracto PC 2900LC-11, Komatsu Dozer D61PX-24, Komatsu Tracto PC 130LC-11.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item 13, purchase a replacement Mini X in water. It's Komatsu Traco PC 45 MR-5.
Yes, sir, we replaced the two of them, 2 years ago?
You know, they were all at the same time.
I replaced 2 and then we bought a third as an extra whenever we put on a construction crew. So all 3 of them were bought about the same time, so we're replacing the third one out of 3 Caterpillar 304s. So this is a replacement for that. And again, it's in the budget.
Yeah, it's $72,000, so.
Make a motion to purchase replacement mini excavator for water, Komatsu Tracto PC 49 MR-5.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries.
$72,035.
We're financing that?
Yes, sir. What we do is we do a 60-month governmental lease.
Lease, okay.
Yes, sir.
Same.
And
Same
that
thing.
which means that if for some reason some catastrophic happened and we didn't have the money to pay the note, we
Right.
send it back.
Very
So
good.
in your budget that you approve every year, you approve paying for it.
Gotcha. Item number 14, consider possible action approving the payment for $292,379.94 to East Texas Utility for work materials on hand for the 20-inch water line project.
They have all the water line in. Everything on the south side of the freeway is tied in and cleaned up, and they've pretty much cleaned up along the access road there. All they have left are the taps inside the plant itself. Everything else is in. And Dave was saying that they were supposed to be making those taps today, so they should fill it up, get a back key on it and pressure test it. So I would think possibly by the end of the month that we ought to be possibly up and running.
Using it.
It just depends on the back key test and also the pressure test. So,
Final times.
and they're doing the final time, yes. So they've been after it pretty good, and so this is the work that they've done and the materials that they put in the ground.
How long in a project this size, how long does it take to sanitize the piping and water so it comes out as?
What they do is, as they're laying the line, it depends on what size. They calculate it and, they either put a cup of chlorine in every joint pipe or, we usually take, they come in a bottle of granule like that. We just take the cap and just about every joint, put that in there. And whenever you fill it up, and then you let it sit for 3 or 4 days like that, and then they'll flush it and take sample.
Okay.
And if for some reason, that's new pipe, so it should be pretty easy to do.
Mhm.
Like the stuff that we have in the yard that's been sitting out here for 8 or 10 years, that'd be hell to get a back T on it. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But anyway, it shouldn't take but about a week or so. You usually let it sit for about 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, just as long as they put enough in it to start with. and-
Yeah.
And they get a good kill on everything. Time it takes to do it, and it doesn't take any longer on bigger or smaller pipe.
Okay,
As long as they chemical, put the right chemical when they start.
gotcha. Okay.
So this is their monthly bill that they've sent us. We paid them $292,000 of, right at 700,000, so we're about halfway somewhere in there.
I'll make a motion approving the payment, $292,379.
Change the amount,
Yeah.
change the amount. He has the last month's amount on the actual agenda,
That's
we didn't have the right amount. Look at this thing up there, it's right now changed.
So the amount's 198?
Yes.
Okay,
It's not what's on here.
it's not what's on the written agenda.
Okay. You tested me, ain't you? I make a motion, we approve the payment of $198,023.98 to East Texas Utility for work and materials on hand for 20-inch water line project.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 15, consider possible action approving a change order for $19,140 to East Texas Utility for a dry bore under access road instead of a wet bore for the 20-inch water line project.
I believe I explained this last month, that what happened is where they, on the south side, there's several fiber optic telephone lines going through there, and they were deep. And when you ask them to locate, they come out and they'll tell you kind of where they're at, but they don't give you a depth or anything. So they ended up trying to expose them, and some of them were all the way up to 15 feet deep and so on and so forth. So what they wanted to do was go, instead of going straight across to where we're in line with our right of way to keep going, say, east, they wanted to move down 40 or 50 feet. That way the cables were shallower and go underneath and come back. Or the other alternative was to use a dry bore. That way they could control it better and not hit the lines. So it was actually more expensive to go down, and we'd have to buy more pipe, go back underneath it and come back. So I approved them going ahead and doing a dry bore underneath there like that with a change order of $19,140. And it's done, and it's in there, and they didn't hit any lines, so that's a good thing.
Make a motion approving change order for $19,140 to East Texas Utility for a dry bore under access road instead of the wet bore for the 20-inch water line project.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider possible action on water tank design. It appears that the TCEQ is still reviewing this plan. It is assigned to a reviewer and scheduled to have a response by September 22nd.
Mine has changed a little bit. We received a letter from the TCEQ saying that it is administratively approved, so it's sending it to the engineering department. So they pretty much approved our tank, and this, through looking at the plans and everything administratively, and it's sent it to the construction plans and then specifications for further requirements. So anyway, they've agreed that it is what it's supposed to be, and we're in good shape.
Okay, no action required on
No, sir, just an update.
Very good. Item 17, consider possible action on West Side wastewater evaluation study.
We have Plummer with us today, and that's what he's here for, and he is going to do us a presentation and explain to us what all we paid for. on the west side, evaluation.
For any introductions, if we could just test the audio, Trevor, can you talk, see if audio is coming through the TV? It is not.
Yeah, it's gotta have a wire to do it.
HDMI?
I know it's gotta, no.
You got a telephone line? Or
Would it be better?
Yeah.
Would it be better for him to sit here by the speaker?
Can you do the speakers on the TV? Like on your settings,
Trying to say something again, Trevor?
I think you might have to go to your sound settings and.
All right, try again.
Yeah, I think I'm hearing it.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Let Jerry turn it back on.
Now I can whisper. There we go.
All right, you want to try that?
Is the volume better now, or?
Better. We'll work.
All right, try again.
Hello, hello,
I think I should turn down.
Pretty
I
good.
think that's good.
hello. Okay.
All right, I'll go ahead, introduce us. Appreciate y'all having us. We've been working with Jerry and Diane on the Anchor wastewater evaluation to see what improvements are needed to bring in the developments that are already coming in or planned to come in. My name is Ryan Bird. I'm the project manager, and for this project, the design team leader with Plumber in Houston. But really, the brains behind this project on screen, Trevor is right above me on the bottom. Trevor is the lead modeler on this project, and Ian is the project engineer, which is right above Trevor. And then Bridget on top there on the screen is the modeling team leader for our modeling group in Plumber. So I will let Trevor take it away from here.
Yeah, and again, thanks Ellen for having us. We just wanted to kind of, again, go over what we have been doing and kind of give you all a veil behind the curtain as well, see what goes on behind the scenes. So this project, we've been completing it in chunks. Normally with these planning projects, we kind of do all one big scope and fee all at once, but we've been kind of breaking it up into more bite-sized, what we're calling task orders. So right now we're on task order 3. That's going to be the main bulk of what we'll be presenting to y'all today. But before we got to task order 3, we had task order 1 and 2 that fed into this, and we'll kind of go over what those 2 tasks entail. So task orders 1 and 2, the biggest piece of the puzzle that those completed were creating the GIS network for the entire TBCD sewer service area. That was a big lift because it required taking information from multiple sources like record drawings, field notes, y'all's staff members as well, and that resulted in this map over here and on the right. It's not showing the winning system, but the winning system was also digitized in this process. We also review data provided by TBCD staff and use that data to develop system-specific assumptions. That way we're representing y'all's system accurately. And then we also conducted lift station drawdown tests to assess the larger lift stations, and then 2, to gather additional information to use in the model building process, which I'll explain a little bit later in the presentation. And then all of that was documented in a TM just to make everything more formal. So on task order 3, the current one that we're working on, it was broken up into 2 major parts. The first part was wastewater collection system modeling. That was building the model and making sure it matches with the real world. That included converting the GIS from task order 1 and 2, and putting it into the modeling software. We were tasked with only doing the Hanhammer sewer service area for this effort, since that's where y'all are expecting most, if not all of y'all's growth. Then after the model was developed, we went into the scenario development and the capacity evaluations where it results in recommendations. And in this task, we've been coordinating with Jerry and Diane to make sure that the scenarios we evaluate are reasonable and what they are expecting to see growth-wise. And the final item I'll mention on the project scope, it will be wrapped up with a TM to kind of summarize the assumptions and recommendations, final recommendations, and we'll be working on finalizing that this week. So just to go in a little bit more detail of the model building process, just as an FYI. So again, we took the information from task order 1 and 2, and then we convert that and put it into a modeling software. We use SewerGens for y'all's Hanhammer system. This required some back and forth with Gary and Diane to make sure that if there were some things that were looking weird, once we actually put things in the model, to make sure that we got them updated in both the model and the GIS. And then also adding some additional details to make sure the model has what it needed to run. Then the final step is the model validation. So as I mentioned a couple of slides, we went out in the field, did some drawdown tests, get some actual field readings of the old system. And also Gary and Diane shared some field testing that y'all did back in 2022. We used all that information to check the results from the model to make sure that our digital version of y'all's system is matching the real world as best as possible. To make sure the recommendations that come from the model are actionable and reasonable. Also part of the process, we worked with Jerry and Diane to develop design criteria for a Hanhammer system. I won't go into gory detail of these design criteria, but these were the kind of guiding posts that were used to help identify if there was a need for recommendations. Since the Hanhammer system is a pressurized wastewater service area, they really need, the pipes really need to kind of hit a sweet spot with the velocities. You don't want the velocity to be too low, because then you can have issues with the wastewater depositing all the who knows what's in there in the pipes, and if it gets bad enough, that could lead to complete blockage of the pipe. But on the flip side, you also don't want too high of a velocity, because that increases the pressures you'll see in the system, and also the energy losses that, or energy that you'll have to pay to operate the lift stations. So we came up with this 2 to 5 foot range, but with allowance for lower or higher depending on the circumstances, since it can be a little, we want ideal, but sometimes, situations call for things to be a little bit outside of the balance. As I mentioned, the pressure is also a concern, so we were using a 55 to 60 PSI. That was just to make sure the pumps aren't getting impacted in the system. And then we've also had several criteria to help identify any lift stations that might need pump replacements or redesign. Yes, the biggest criteria is this second bullet. They don't have capacity for the projected peak inflows. That's kind of the biggest red flag. But yeah, these are all the design criteria. We just kind of wanted to go over that a little bit before we give all the recommendations. Okay, so I was droning on about a lot of high-level, little theoretical stuff. So now let's go back to the real world a little bit more. So this map is showing the expected future growth. There's 4 developments that are expected to occur in the Hancock system or are already occurring. There's Cypress and Riverview, Blue Wing, or the Highway 61 development, and then the Turtle Bayou development. This table over here to the right is showing the total number of units that are expected with those developments. Also, when we were talking with Jerry and Diane, they mentioned that this kind of a general area along the I-10 corridor, specifically east of Highway 61, has the potential for growth, but the developments aren't as certain as, say, these residential developments. So we just kind of use this general geography rectangle area to guide the future analysis of saying, okay, we know that growth is going to occur in this general area. And they guided us on this because along this corridor, the enforcement is a 10-inch line, so they wanted to see potentially how much growth could come in before there any additional improvements along that corridor. So I know this map is a little scary. We wanted to give y'all a little bit of a view of what it looks like in the modeling software. So we had all that information that kind of feeds into this, and then, okay, how do you use it? So all this is y'all's system. It's showing the pipe sizes in different colors. That's this legend over here. Then all these dots are showing model results for pressures throughout the system, and that's color coded by by this legend indicated in the far right. So kind of what you're looking for is going back to the design criteria. Those are our kind of guiding marks. So on the pressure side of things, we're looking for anything that's starting to get into that 55 to 60 psi range, or even maybe the 50 to 60, or sorry, the 40 to 50 range, just if we're expecting growth, that might be of caution. So that's any of the orange and pink dots. And then if there's any red dots, that's indicating, okay, the pressure is already above 60. So that should be looked at a little bit further. The only area that's really above 60 when we were looking at things is over by the Stuckey's area, and that's with the new Jenkins development that Jerry and Diane shared with us. We've given some preliminary kind of feedback on that, and that might not be a concern anymore because that development's been kind of in flux, but I just want to point that out. But specifically, the most critical area for the growth is down south on Highway 61. The biggest thing, Cypress right now, the model is indicating that it's providing 28 ppm of flow when it's active, but based on the general assumptions that were developed from previous tasks, it's expected to need about 205 ppm for full build out. So it needs some help, to say the least. And then also in this area, the pressures are about 46 psi. So right now, it's not a concern, but as flows are increasing, it's indicating that the existing line on Highway 61 cannot support additional growth. So kind of showing that something needs to be done. So kind of after that bird's eye view of what the model looks like and some of the results that can fall out, then we've moved forward to actually identifying recommendations for y'all's system. And this did include some back and forth with Jerry and Diane to make sure that we are meeting their expectations as well, not doing anything out of bounds, doing things that were reasonable. So, well, I'll go into more detail of the exact improvements for each of the phases. The big thing on these phases, I just want to go over the grouping. All the items in pink are associated with phase one, or improvements that probably need to be slated for relatively immediate action, given that the existing system was showing the cypress flows were a bit low for the expected development, and the pressures were a bit high along Highway 61. Also to note, it does look like the existing system can support some growth on I-10. We're showing about a total of 270 GTM that could be supported at the FM 17.4 intersection. And then the second phase is these blue items. As growth continues, replacing this 10-inch line to hang hammer was also identified. But just to get like a high level to think about, okay, where are these improvements? Well, how much are they going to be able to support phase one? We'll be able to support the full build out of Cypress, some growth along I-10 that I mentioned, and either the full build out of Turtle Bayou or Blue Wing, one of the two. It can't support both at full build out. Then phase two, which is the green or light blue, it supports build out of all known developments, so all of the developments shown, and then also allows for additional growth beyond along I-10 beyond what is allowed in phase one. So to go into detail of, okay, what are these improvements? How much are the dollars and cents going to be? So for phase one, it's going to be about a mile of 8-inch sewer force main. We also identified some new pumps at Cypress because existing system was showing that pumps are a bit not pumping enough. And then also identifying improvements at TxDOT East and TxDOT West lift stations to redesign and replace those pumps. The costs also include right-of-way costs and include engineering and survey. I will also say that their planning level costs, the very high level, for this first phase, we're showing 1.7 million. This cost also includes the acquisition of materials. I guess to give the background on why I mentioned that caveat, through the process of the improvement recommendations, Jerry and Diane mentioned that there is 8-inch pipe that TBCD owns right now. So this 1.7 million includes if you had to just start from scratch, you didn't have any 8-inch pipe laying around ready to be installed. On phase two, we're just showing that a need of 4,400 linear feet of 16-inch sewer force main, and we're estimating that's going to be about $2.1 million in cost. So that's a lot of talk about the force mains in the system, but all this growth also impacts the wastewater treatment plant. So we wanted to kind of show y'all what the impacts of that are as well. So this graphic is showing a bar chart of the expected flows that the Hank Hammer wastewater treatment will see. The blue portion of the graph is showing the existing demands or usage And this does include Cypress and Riverview at full build out, just, because when Jerry and Diane were guiding us through this, scenario development process, they wanted to make sure that those were included since they're pretty active or, basically complete. The orange part of the bar is the Turtle Bayou development, and then the green part of the bar is the Blue Wing development. These bars don't include any potential growth on Nighton since it's a bit more influx. This is kind of your quote unquote guaranteed growth. So the reason why we want to show this is TCQ has two general planning guidelines. They're called the 75/90 rule. How they work is you look at the flows that are incoming to the wastewater treatment plant, and if over a 3-month period, if those flows exceed 75% of the wastewater treatment plant capacity, which is this dashed line, then that initiates the beginning of engineering and planning, so design and planning of the wastewater treatment plant expansion. And then if same average flows over 3 months exceed 90%, which is this black line, that it indicates that or triggers the wastewater treatment plant needs to start construction of the planned expansion. So what this graph is showing is, okay, at the end of phase 1, so after things are, after that, the line work and the pumps are replaced, and either the Turtle Bayou or Blue Wing come online, we're going to start getting very close to that 75% capacity. So at the completion of the build out of one of those developments, it should trigger, okay, planning and design for the Hankheimer treatment plant should start beginning. And then once the full build out of the residential developments are completed, that should trigger the next kind of TCQ planning criteria. Okay, now we need to start building that plan inspection. We really recommend that once phase 2 of the improvements are of the force main systems being done, that the kind of construction of Hankheimer kind of lines up with that. That way you aren't having to worry or sweat that the treatment plant doesn't have enough capacity. But yeah, that's all we wanted to share with y'all, and thanks for listening, and we'll open it up.
Does anybody have any questions?
Do you have let's say, did you really look at it as, just say normal growth? How long you think we would be to the 75% capacity? You're thinking, that if their average is 30 houses a year, are we looking at 10 years, 20 years? Did you look at that kind of average of what the growth would be in that area?
Yeah, at the 30 homes mark, it would be probably about like the 5 to 10 year range, probably, given the size of Turtle Bayou and Blue Wing. Turtle Bayou is a little bit bigger, so it just depends which one.
How far are they on their build out on those two subdivisions? Are we at 50%?
I would say, Cypress Point, I don't think they're maybe 50%, and they haven't even started on Turtle yet.
Okay.
So none of the others have started except for the one north of I-10.
Okay, so
So
this encompasses stuff that's not even started yet.
Yeah, encompasses what we know that's coming, and so we're looking at a 10-year plan, probably somewhere around in there.
Okay.
And that was 30 homes per year,
Yeah, 30 homes per year. other than the fact that, their recommendation was a 10 going up Highway 61. And I asked them to say, I've got a mile of 8-inch sitting on the yard out there, so
Could do it.
what would it, how long would that last for us to be able to do it? So, you know, that would, yeah, that's free. So, so anyway, so
So,
that's why I dropped, from a 10 to an 8.
Okay.
Is that, yes, ma'am?
so even based on the latest information we gave on the textile rest areas,
Yes,
They
the
still need to
pumps
be
still have to
increased?
be upsized.
Why are we having to upsize those? I mean, what's flowing into them now that
I don't
wasn't?
think it's a flow, I think it's a pressure, if I'm not mistaken.
So were they not properly built to start with?
Well, the thing is, we added Stuckies
Okay,
and all these other stuff onto the 10-inch line that wasn't there before. So when they built the rest areas, the only thing that was on that 10-inch line were the 2 rest areas.
okay.
So now we have stuff on 1724 and we have stuff.
So it's
on
the stuff that
Jefferson.
we've added to the rest
This is
areas.
Stuff that we've
Okay,
added to it to bid, so
it's just
now that
part of the
those
development.
pumps are gonna have to be
Okay.
upgraded.
So what I'm hearing, basically, what we just looked at is something like 5 years to 10 years down the road.
Yes, except for the 16 and the 8.
On 61.
On 61 and from I-10 to the sewer plant itself.
Right.
That would, changing those 2 lines and a few pumps would get us darn near 10 years down the road.
Okay.
Unless something big just walks in the door and then, you know, then you have enough coming in to help you pay for it all.
So we got a $3.8 million project looking at us with those 2 lines going in.
Yes, sir. That's with hiring a contractor and everything to go with it.
but we do it ourselves,
Yeah.
it'll
It'd be a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And that one, that seven's including, you don't have to buy all new pipe. It's high level planning,
And
cost
probably-
includes engineering, surveying, contractor, bonds and insurance profit. And, you know, a higher bid that we've seen on 8-inch pipe costs, just to be conservative. Is I'm sure y'all know, you never know who's gonna bid or what the environment's like when you do bid.
So worst case scenario,
Worst
3.8
case,
million.
yes, sir.
So, and then that'll get us by, and then we're looking at a sewer plant
Yes,
down the
sir.
road, 5 to 10 years.
Yes, sir. So this, all this was done to let us know where we're at and what we need to do to get there.
Okay, a sewer plant's 5 to 10 years down the road. Where are we at on water lines?
We haven't done it. We haven't modeled that side yet. I think we are gonna have some problems because we're pushing, 90 PSI at the plant. So that means we're not getting it out into the system. And there's a 12-inch that goes all the way to Smith Point. So we're pretty good on the south side, but on the north side, it's a 12 leaving the plant and it goes down to about Otter Road, about a mile or 2, and then it drops to an 8 and then goes out to I-10 and turns into a 12 again. So eventually that 8-inch is gonna have to be upsized to a 12 or something like that to be able to get enough water there. Because like I say, y'all remember the line that busted here not too long ago, had the piece up here where it blew out, that's pressure that blew that chunk out of it. And like I say, for him to start saying a freeze or something where we have a heavy demand or something like that, and we're pushing 90 PSI at the plant. So that's your trigger there. And again, that's another study that people hate to hear. Victor hates to hear study. But I think some of that has been modeled over there already. LJA has modeled some of that. And so anyway, but that's another discussion down the road that we're gonna have to look at to be able to get enough water out there. Our plan is 2.5 million gallons a day, so we're pumping about 8 or 9 right now. So we're doing pretty good, but getting it out of the system is a problem.
Right.
So we're gonna have to do pretty much the same thing and have somebody model everything that we've got, check pressures and everything else to where we know exactly what we need to do down the road. That's coming.
Very good.
I'm good.
I am too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Good
much.
job.
Thank y'all.
Thanks for having me.
And now that you built the model, I mean, it's just a matter of plugging in numbers and changing a little bit. If they want to throw something in over here, it's just a matter of just a few keystrokes and they can tell us exactly what we need to do and how to do it and so on and so forth.
Exactly.
And,
And that gives us a good timeline.
Yes, sir.
yeah, and we require the contractors to do that study if they're gonna put in a.
Yes, sir,
So-
and now that they have this evaluation done, we changed our policy here a while back that they have to do a capacity study.
Right.
So they want to put something in, they need to do a
So it'd
capacity study.
be easy to get that done.
Right, and I will say LJ would charge us 5,000 for,
8,000 for a capacity. study.
8,000 for a capacity study, so we would, since Plummer did this already, we'd send it to them, they'd plug in the numbers.
Be quick and
whatever,
easy.
Tell us, it's fine, or what needs to be done to be able to serve them.
Good.
Very
And that
good.
way we don't go let somebody build something and then we can't, and then it doesn't work.
Right. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Trevor.
All right, we'll move on to item 18, consider possible action approving a sewer agreement between Trinity Bay and the city of Anahuac.
I've been talking a lot, I'll let Kate talk a little bit on that.
Yesterday, we met with Richard Baker, City of Anahuac's attorney. Mr. Woody was there, Diane, Jerry, myself, and my associate Anna, and then on Zoom were representatives from LJA, Jared DeFrancis, and then representatives from the City of Anahuac. And we tried to kind of nail down the path forward. Trinity Bay is looking at what it's going to need to do to get our plant back up and running. So Jerry's gonna meet with Jared DeFrancis out there, and LJA is going to put a plan of what needs to be done to get it back up and running. Also, LJA is going to file an application to get it re-rated, and the city of Anahuac and Trinity Bay will split that cost, which kind of speaking a little out of turn, but if anyone wants to jump in with re-rate, what that means is it'll be rated for higher flow usage.
This is their new sewer plant.
Right,
The one that
and
they
so
built is
it'll-
going from 5 to the 9.
So it's
Right.
gonna-
And
Okay,
what that does is because once you get to the 75, this TPQ has a 75% rule. Once you get there, you have to show them that you're in plans for new plants. That'll kind of postpone that a little bit. And then we talked about the current agreement, which was from 1984, and I have it, and I've been reviewing it, and we're going to update that agreement just to kind of outline a little bit more in detail what's the city's responsibility versus Trinity Bay's. And I think what we kind of agreed upon, which is still subject to negotiation, is once Anahuac's plant is at 70%, then it would kind of trigger Trinity Bay to start looking into funding options to potentially build our own plant, and which would take a year to get funding and then possibly up to 3 years, to get everything. But we really want the Lakes of Anahuac to come, we want to serve them, et cetera. And so we're just, both entities are just trying to figure out the best way to move forward. But the biggest, I guess, the most recent things are Jerry's gonna meet with Jared DeFrancis and LJA to figure out what we need to do. I know they got a cost estimate of $37,000 for the sludge removal. And then go ahead and work to get it re-rated so that, we can, change its rating. But, it's interesting because we're operating under a joint permit out there, so that's why we're together on this. But you all have any more questions? As far as the re-rating, I would turn it over to Shannon.
Well, I think this goes back to what Plummer just told us is, they're wanting to, that's a 300 home subdivision that they're wanting to put in there, and his estimate is 30 houses a year. So I think you're gonna be the same thing there. it's not gonna happen overnight that we're gonna get to that capacity. It's gonna be later on down the road. Now, it is in our district and it's in our CCN, so it's ours. But they've also sent a letter asking that we would give up our CCN and let them build their own mud there. And I told them no, because otherwise, because they don't have any way to serve it. Anahuac does not want to let us do it. So anyway, so we're working all that out, and we've explained to them also that, you know, we have so much capacity there and we're only using like 20% of it. So they really can't stop us, you know. I think Justin made that point to them and so on and so forth. So I think it's just a matter of working together, and I believe they're having a board meeting next month.
Yes, and well, I think even next Tuesday that Mr. Baker's kind of.
Yeah, so anyway, I plan to go to, Victor and I went to one of their board meetings and discuss this with them once before. So I plan to go to their board meeting, and I think Mr. Baker's gonna discuss this with their board. So if anyone is interested in it, can't be 3, but 2 can go.
Oh, and we looked and talked, you know, there's some land, you know, even if Trinity Bay wanted to purchase land and build our own, because right now we're in a 99-year lease. The city actually owns the land that the plant is located on, so if we wanted to move, you know, if we wanted to build a new one, there's some land adjacent we could look at. So I thought it was a productive.
It was very productive. Everybody laid out their position, and we know where we're at. We do have a path forward. I was disappointed that none of the mayor or any of their councilmen came in on the team's meeting or anything, because they were invited to come. So Mr. Baker and Kenny was, which is their city manager, he was there for about half of the meeting.
Yeah, and then it was Sid there, the operator.
And then their operator. At one time, I mean, I can go into some more detail if you'd like, but at this point, I don't think we're there yet. There's a pond that possibly could be filled in where there's room. But then again, you know, by the time you fill in the pond and this and that, so I think we're too early in the situation. What we're trying to do is to get the subdivision to be able to start building. And we have plenty of time to make all these decisions, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, so no action, just an update.
Right. But on this 99-year lease that we have with the city of Anahuac, but there is property available close by to be able to do this. How long is left on this 99-year contract?
Well, this contract was executed back in 1984, but if we decided, if the district decided to purchase land and build our own, the city, I don't think there's nothing holding us to the lease. So, I mean, it's like it was, you know, 99 year, $1, just because they didn't want to convey our land at the time to us. But we discussed that there's land adjacent, and if we had to, we might just purchase our own land and build our own, and they weren't adverse to that.
Greg Turner on the other side of the ditch. So that's West Fork and Double Bayou that they discharge into. So Greg owns a property on the other side, so we could possibly drive 10 acres or so from Greg and give us a place to have our own. The only change in that is right now, the agreement is that Anahuac operates the plant, and then we pay a percentage of what we put into it. If we did the other, it's just we would have our own operator operate the plant.
Is there any cleanup costs if we were to vacate that particular plant and build another one?
I think something would probably need to be done with the whole plant. It's 50 or 60 years old,
Yeah,
and it needs to be demolished.
Yeah, I mean, I've been involved in parts of our
Yeah.
old plant,
Mm-hmm.
petrochemical plant, and I know that you gotta make it pristine.
I think it would be just a matter of just taking a jackhammer, breaking it up and hauling it off, or burying it, or doing something with it. But it's over 50 years old, and the concrete's even gets, hard to say, but soft. You know what I mean? I mean, you can't hardly get anchor bolts to stay in it anymore. You know, it's the concrete's deteriorating. In fact, it was a violation at one time, and I had a contractor come in and fix all the cracks in the walls and inject, a bunch of sealant and stuff like that to stop the leaking on it. It's such bad, it's old. It needs to be replaced.
So there's no objection to them letting us build our own plant?
No, I don't think there's any objection to it at all.
No, building air operator, he doesn't like having to operate two plants.
And that's the thing, they got a whole brand new setup with new blowers, everything is one unit. And if we crank ours back up, that means that we're gonna have, the piping's gonna have to be tied back in. How are you gonna split the flow from what's coming in the same line from Anahuac? Because the gravity line going in, all of our stuff comes in the same line. So, you'd just be splitting up the flow somehow or another. You'd have to run a completely different set of blowers for ours and everything. So, in my opinion, they have plenty of capacity for all of us. And the best thing to do is just build a new one in the future whenever we get to 70%.
At some point, Oak Island will have to be replaced, and it probably make better
It's the
sense
same.
just to bring that north
Mhm.
to that plant and just have to build one plant rather than one in Oak Island
Right.
and eventually
That's
another
what
one
we
in that
were
plant.
talking about yesterday, if we need something, we bring Oak Island down there.
Okay. We're tabling that.
Yeah,
Right, this was just a presentation, so.
very good. Item 19, we'll table again on the election of board positions until we have a full group. Item 20, consider possible action declaring the attached list of equipment as surplus property to be sold at Horn Auction.
Yes, sir, the dozer, the excavators and all the stuff that we're are replacing with the new ones that you've already approved. We've had some old slash busters in the back. We use grinding heads now to grind it. Instead of a slash buster, it's more like just a big lawnmower, and it'll throw a hump out and stuff like that. They're pretty dangerous and so on and so forth. So we've pretty much gone to grinders. The only thing that I had any concern with, we have what is called an ice hammer back there that we used to build bridges with and stuff. We haven't used it in years, but we bought it brand new when we were building the bridges and stuff like that. And it's just sitting outside in the weather. The hoses, last time we used it, we had to replace them and so on and so forth. So since we're not in doing large construction like that anymore, Amos and David's opinion are that we go ahead and we sell this, and if we ever need to do, we just rent for a month. We just call up ICE and then rent it for, $10,000, $8,000, rent it for a month, and then we send it back. This one here is sitting out in the weather. It's so heavy, we don't have anything big enough to put it underneath a shed or anything. It's a large hydraulic unit with how many tons in it?
The unit itself, the power engine weighs 12,000 pounds, and the head that drives the pylon weighs 5,000 pounds.
How expensive was that to start with?
And we pay about 36 for it here.
Yeah, it was about $40,000, to best of my recollection. And we did use it whenever we built we built 22 bridges. And now that the new track over that we've got that we're buying, we're going to put the plumbing back on there where we have a vibratory hammer that was on the existing Caterpillar. So if we need to build a bridge or drive some sheet piling or something like that, we still have a vibratory hammer to use. And like I said, if we come up I think Jenkins Weir was the last time we used it to drive some sheet piling. So if we need to, we can just rent it, go pick it up and use it and then bring it back. That way we don't have to maintain it and everything. It's just going to sit out there.
Mhm.
So we have a Kubota lawnmower, the engines burn up on the slash busters and so on and so forth. So here's a list, on your list is all the equipment that we're looking. We're getting rid of 2 Ford pickup trucks, the 304 Caterpillar. Our pressure washer back there in the back that we use to clean equipment is 10 years old. the heat doesn't work on them anymore, the engine doesn't run, so we're just gonna go down to Harbor Freight and buy one. Same thing, sitting over at Harbor Freight for about $8,000. So anyway, so we're getting rid of the junk, and we ought to get pretty good money for all this stuff at home.
Make a motion declaring the attached list of equipment as surplus property and to be sold at Horn Auction.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item 21, considering possible action treating the aquatic vegetation in the Anahuac Water Reservoir to control taste and odor at a cost of $275 per acre for 83 acres.
We've had taste and odor problems on the west side from the algae growing inside the pond and the reservoirs. So I asked Mark Mitchell, our spray guru, to look into and see what we can do about it. And they do make some chemicals and so on and so forth that we can put in there to kill the algae. And we usually have taste and odor problems a couple times a year. If you recall, we use copper sulfate and it eat the aluminum boat up. It's very toxic, and they're getting out of an aluminum boat and doing this. So what we would like to do is really at this time of year, it's kind of late. So next spring, and we will have to do some piping to isolate some of we have actually 3 different cells in there now. So we'll isolate one, go in there and treat it and kill the algae, and then we'll put it back in service and so on and so forth. So it's going to be a pretty lengthy process, and we're going to have to put some piping and some gates in there to be able to pull from one cell versus the other cell and everything else. So,
But this will be done next year, not.
yes, so anyway, with this, since we had the taste and odor problem, I started getting into it. And by the time we got into it, I also had our biologist from LJA come in, and with his expertise and everything, and then we got around to it, it would be better to do this next spring. So if the board wants to wait till a later date and approve it again, but we are gonna have to go in there, and we're gonna have to do some piping and some gate work and stuff like that to be able to do this in the future. It's the same thing, you put it in a boat, and there's a hose goes down, and the propeller actually mixes it in, and you would actually kill the algae. One of the suggestions was to always put that middle levee in there for the erosion, for the wave action whenever the wind starts blowing. But they suggested it be a good thing to isolate that off too, so where now you got 4 separate cells that you can go in and pull from one and treat the other and so on and so forth. So it kind of was going to be a quick fix, and it's gotten into more detail than that. So I think if you table this, we're going to come back later with a specific plan for the spring to be able to do this kind of stuff. But it does need to be done. Not only is our reservoir full of algae, the canal is full of algae. So the canal, something needs to be done with it also. So, that's why Anahuac's water, it has taste and odor, and people complain about it also, is because the algae coming out of LC.
We're looking at roughly 84 acres here.
Yes, sir.
Plus a drain, reservoir coming in.
No, this is what we want to treat.
Right.
But we're gonna have to put, right now, it's just pipes going across, it's all mixed together.
Right.
So we need to put some gates on it and stuff so we can isolate that 10-acre pond, treat it, you can see the color of it with the algae in it. Treat it, clean it all up, and then switch to it, and treat water off of it while we do the other 10-acre pond. And then maybe we'll take the 80-acre pond out in the back and treat it all at one time.
How far away are we away from the LNBA canal?
17 miles. I looked at that once before, for hurricane preparedness and so on and so forth. I actually bought a piece of property at 1410 in the LNBA Canal. We bought it from the DeVilliers. We own 5 acres there, and I actually had it permitted to take water from LNBA there. The TCEQ approved it. So, and I also have an easement down Highway 65 from there all the way to our water plant. For some reason you ever had to, for an emergency situation, say the Lakes of Anahuac got contaminated or something, you got over a year and a half's worth of water right here to be able to run a 14-inch line down there and service with that.
Well, we'll ask what size lines you'd have to run.
It would be a 14-inch, and I put all this together. It's a shovel ready if the funding ever comes available.
The water's so much better.
It is. It's so much better than coming out of Lakes of Anahuac. It had salt come into it when I came in, so it still has salt in it and everything else, and it's eat up with algae.
It would save us treating.
I think that's going to be a cake question because you get into different jurisdictions and you actually have to cross the CLCD's canal with that 14-inch raw water line to get to our plant. So it would be a pretty good fight, I think it would be. But the plan is already there, shovel ready, put together. I bought the property. It's already permitted to take water there. I have an easement down Highway 65 to put a 14-inch line all the way into our place, other than I don't have a permit to go under CLC canal right now.
Okay.
So anyway.
We'll table it and,
so I think this is something, the algae will come back in the spring, and I think by then we can possibly, we're gonna have to get with the engineer to see what kind of size pipings and gating and stuff like that, so we can isolate.
figure out exactly what we want to do.
And do some stuff, but we do need to do something because we have a taste of the problem over there, and our customers deserve good clean water.
I agree. All right, item 22, consider possible action purchasing 250 additional electronic read meters at a cost of $80,500.
Yes, sir. We still have, 200 in the back?
About 200.
So, and we're putting them in just about every day ourselves. We're through with the contractor, doing it, so we're gonna do the rest of it ourselves. So this doesn't mean that I'm gonna purchase them tomorrow, but if he puts in 100 and I need them, the board's approved for us to go ahead and buy them. So, anyway, so we'll just buy them a little bit at a time as we need them. And we also have, I forget, we call them for the big plastic totes full of old meters. That we're, the best bid we've got is out of Baytown scrap iron over there. We're gonna take those over there and sell them so that we'll get quite a bit of money for that brass too. $2 a pound, we're gonna get $2 a pound for it.
Really?
Yeah, so. And you could get more than that, but they still have the glass and everything, so, but it's not worth the time to cut them. Now, sometimes the big meters, like a 6-inch or an 8-inch, is worth cutting it, but not on the small ones.
Right. Okay.
There's about 8,000 pounds of meters back there right now.
Good.
I make a motion in purchasing an additional 250 electronic read meters at a cost of $80,500.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Item 23, consider possible action developing plans to address the low pressure problems in Pine Hollow.
Yes, sir. Well, this is the same thing as Belton Lane, and I'll get into Belton Lane. It's a little bit further down in the slides. But anyway, so I had Josh go out and put a pressure meter on it. This guy's been complaining for a long time that he's had low pressure. He's on a 2-inch line. This is on 563 up around the ranches of Turtle Bayou, headed towards Liberty. So just north. And on average, they 63 PSI, but there's quite a few homes on it, and the low is 35 PSI. So it's pretty much the same thing we had on Belton Lane. And what I would like to do is do the same thing. it used to be a little bit further down to the south is Sherman. We have an 8-inch line there. We've started serving into the ranches of Turtle Bottom. So there's a 6-inch that goes in there. And so we want to tie with that 6-inch, go on north and then go about halfway down, Pine Hollow and put a fire hydrant in there. And one of his complaints is no fire protection either. So, we had the plans developed for Belton Lane. I'll go ahead since it's a, and LJA did them. So we have a set of plans. We submitted, they should go before the county Tuesday to get an easement from the county to put on Belton Lane. And we also have a permit from TxDOT. We've got to bore the highway and tie it into the 12. So all the plans and everything are done on that one. But as you can see, it took, 2 months for us to be able to put it together, survey it, get the plan stamped and everything else. And it's going to Commissioner's Course next Tuesday for them to give us an easement down Belton Lane to be able to put the 6-inch down there. And this is pretty much what we're doing for Pine Hollow. And so you're talking to this. So I called the man and told him, and he thanked me, but I told him that we would go ahead and get the plans developed. We'll have to get a permit from the TxDOT and the county and so on and so forth. So this is pretty much just the planning stage. Do you remember how much it cost for that set of plans that we had done?
I didn't see the cost for the set of plans. I just know we're doing the same
$8,000, something
footage.
like that is what.
Total cost on this? About-
No, that's not included.
No.
Just,
But about what
What
will it
was it for
cost?
Belton before the plans? Is what it says.
yeah, I think it was about $8,000 to do the plans and permits and everything that we have to do.
The total, what are we gonna spend?
And then it's, I want to say this was about 1,300 feet. And I think I calculated just round number 10, so you're looking at $13,000 pipe.
Oh, okay.
So you're looking at, Belton was about 20, this is gonna be about 20. But for right now, I just wanna get the plans, have it show ready. Whenever we're ready to do it, then we'll buy the pipe or so on and so forth. Because again, a little bit further on, we're gonna talk about our bond sale and stuff too, so.
Okay.
So right now, I just wanna, have the plans developed. That way, whenever we, have the funds available, we can do this job.
Make a motion, develop the plans, address the labor pressure problems at Pine Hollow.
And also to add a fire hydrant.
Yes, sir, we're gonna have fire.
Yes.
We'll probably put one on 563 and Pine Hollow, and then one about halfway down, which will be 800 or 1,000 feet somewhere around
And I'll second that motion.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. That's all of our business for the day. Amy, you got a drainage report for us?
Yes, sir. Chad, pull on the fire. Here you go back on the top of
there. That's it, whatever.
one was.
Yeah, that was mine.
Okay, 2 more, sorry. All right, so yeah, starting out, this is projects that we've been doing the last month. We'll start out the second slide.
Tell me where this slide is.
That's at the salt shed at Robinson Lake that we've been working on Steve Fitzgerald and I have another set of slides out there. That's where you can actually see some of the erosion that was there before we started. There was multiple, by the time we got down there was 2 undercuts and it was cutting around the saltwater structure. So it's a good thing we got down there when we did.
Are we done with that?
We are done. Rose Dish, this is where your drag line sit. Unfortunately, my drag line operator had resigned last Tuesday, so we'll have to deal with that. That's where we'll keep moving with that as soon as I get an operator in. I have to go find us a drag line operator. So I've actually had a couple of people call me interested, so I'm kind of excited about that part of it. We have that discussion to make. Carry on, so we move forward here.
He was doing a good
He was
job.
doing a good job. He said he's got other plans. He wanted to go do something else. Double Bottle tributary, we had finished Those guys have finished the west side of that, so it's done from, Eagle Ferry Road all the way to where it dumps into the bayou. This is part of that, grant, potential grant project that we have, working. The next slide you'll see is what it looked like when we started. And then, I have a couple of pictures of what it looks like now. This should meet the criteria, hopefully, that, Skylar and Ryan, we're looking forward to be able to promote our grant for this area. I am gonna do the other side of it. I had to pull that machine to go bail me out of the spot, but we are gonna get started back on that other side. So anyway, it turned out really nice. Looks good, guys, did a great job. Elm Bayou, we're continuing to move south. He's actually, by the time I made this, he has made it to 1941. Pushing through there, getting that stretch of bayou cleaned up. I have a picture of what the progress is looking like there and what he's dealing with. Next slide, here's our salt check project. Started, got moved in on the 22nd of September. This is kind of what it looked like when we got started. Guys, the Fitzgeralds helped a lot. They brought some extra jars that they had on their land to us, and we were able to place those to help extend the erosion area, to help mitigate that. We set those jars, we backfilled it with material, laid the Marify out, and then I was able to, thanks to the funding that y'all allowed, I was able to order this 6x12 crushed concrete, trucked it in, Smart Material had got the bid on that. It worked out. We did 17 loads of that 6x12 and got it all tied up, sealed. It's sealed back off now. There's no cutting around. There's no water intrusion from around the gates. So we are back solid with that. Herbicide crews. Still spraying it covered, the ground crew's covered about roughly 20 miles. This is the ditch and hand cover that I happen to be going by. I was like, good picture from my slideshow there. So we're still mowing. I think in a couple of weeks, Mark said that we're gonna try to get the helicopter back up for one more round for the year. Been going over a few spots with him on places I'd like to hit. So hopefully that all takes place and we can get some more of that done. Still areas that we need attention to. I have been able to, fortunately, been able to knock a lot off of this list. Oyster Bayou, south of Fairview, the drain pipes. We're on that now. I just got started on it. They may actually finish today. This has happened in between the time that I built my PowerPoint. They're working on the last pipe today. So the double bottle, again, we're going to move to the east side of that drain that I wanted to do. There's still other ditches in double bottle that I want to take care of that we need to pay attention to, that I'm going to do while we're down there. The swing gate, I finally got all the material. A lead guy that I talked to, he had left. So that's why it took so long to get my stuff. I have the stuff. We've actually started construction of the gate. I have to work with Carter Hooper on getting in and out of there because of duck season and duck leases and whatnot. So, and then the erosion, fixing the erosion is at Fitzgerald. So next month we'll have some new items on the list. Yeah. And that's my presentation. If anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Very good.
And thanks again for the approval of the equipment. It allowed us to keep pushing forward with the projects.
Very good.
So, Fitzgerald will start this month?
No, ma'am, we are finished.
It's done.
No, on this, the erosion.
Yes, we're finished. Yes, ma'am. That was that project. Yes, ma'am.
We also, we were notified that, our Spindletop Bio was selected, for widening on the channel 124 and 65. Anyway, and then I received another letter saying that they designated it as an alternate project, which means that it doesn't have any funding. So I'm welcome to apply again. So they said they was gonna give us money through Hurricane Merle, and evidently they wouldn't. The problem is there's just not any disaster money out there. So anyway, they spend it somewhere else, then we're not getting any, but anytime, as you're well aware, but anytime there's something out there for funding, we apply for it. The only thing out there right now is something to do with fire, and it's $6 million, and that's all there is for the whole state. So there's no funding there yet, so. But we were, they picked our project and said it needed to be done and agreed, and then they pulled it back. Even hope.
Yes, sir. Your turn.
We installed 2 grinders this month, also, like 465 feet of discharge line to accommodate. As of yesterday, we were 900 foot complete with 1,200 foot line to be laid across the street here at Church Shop Game Calls where it's going in. And installed a fire hydrant, put an 800 feet water line. I think I told y'all last meeting, the contractors are done. They ended up leaving here, they installed 1,298 water meters. And we just pulled 9 vacants out of there. We're gonna start installing water meters ourselves as of this past weekend. We're trying to do some of the commercial stuff. I got about 10 or 12 inch and a half meters in right now that will cover your McDonald's, Jack in the Box, stuff like this. We are starting to do 5/8 meters again. That's what we're going to add to our inventory on that. And we're going to start doing it in-house. I think we can do a better job, a more accurate job with them. I'm still running into issues with the ones that, some of the ones that the contractor done, but we're working through it. And I just think the better plan is for us to put it in ourselves.
How far, do you know about where we are as far as how many?
Yeah, I think we're still, just on 5/8 meters, I think we're still 1,700 away
From being done?
from being done.
Okay, not too bad.
It did bring, I can tell you this, it did bring our meter readers from about 12 or 1,300 a piece a month to read in 6 days to about 660. So that's a lot more doable.
Very good.
Belton Lane, I explained that here not too long ago. Here's a set of plans that the engineer stamped and everything. So that's why it took so long to do all that. The TCEQ bond sale is determined administratively complete and was forward for technical review. So anyway, so our bonds are moving forward. They approved that we could sell them and so on and so forth. So you got anything to add, Kate?
Just now it's their technical review, so we're still waiting to get the TCEQ order. Once we get that order, then we can move forward on selling them. But this is a good step.
And then again, we brought up the sewer plant over in Anahuac, and this is Pico. They gave us a bid of $34,169 to go in there and remove, replace all the chains and redo all the sludge system inside of it. All that is bad. The wear plate, it's just a 2x4s that just rake the sludge. And so anyway, the chains, sprockets, slides, all that stuff need replaced. So they've given us a bid on that. So I told them to move forward on it. The only other thing that we've got backflow preventers. We have a company that actually does this for us, and they sent out 2 letters letting everybody that has a backflow preventer, which is hotels, Sonic, everybody that has backflow preventers, that they require to have them tested once a year. And we were at one time, we had about 40 letters that we had to send out. And then I finally, on the 3rd one, we checked with Kate, and we can shut them off. So this is the 3rd notice, and this time it tells them if they don't have it tested when we go back, then we're gonna shut the water off. They have to do it by law, and the last, I checked with Diane, we had 11 left, but about 11 left that haven't done it. And I'm gonna have Josh go there, ask for it, and if they don't have it, I'm gonna shut the water off. So somebody screams at you, that's the reason why I shut off, because they've been notified, twice by letter, and the third time was, certified.
It's actually four.
Actually,
Three VPO and,
a certified.
one certified with us, and we were allowed to give them 10 days to bring it, and it's actually been over 10 days because the 10 days fell on a Thursday, which I wouldn't dare do that. And then this week, I just haven't been able to get it to them yet. So they've had additional probably 13 days total, and they haven't turned it in yet.
Who does the testing and what's the normal cost?
You're required to hire a plumber or a certified tester, and they come in, and I'm sure they charge a couple $100 just to hook it up and make sure the thing is working properly. It's a pressure reduction zone, and they're required to be a foot off the ground. That way they can test them, and they just go up there and hook up to them, and this side's this pressure, this side, and they just test them, and just to make sure they're working properly. That way if there's a water line break or something, their system doesn't back up into our system.
So you're looking at an hour, 2 hours worth of
Yeah.
labor,
Yes, from a
a
plumber.
certified plumber
Yes, sir.
is what you're.
Well, it's a
That's all it
certified
takes to do it,
black flow
and-
tester.
You know, but some of the hotels and stuff, they're corporate and they might be out of state or this or that and other, but I hate to do it, but it's by rules, we have to enforce it, and we're about to enforce it.
Right, because if that gets into your system, then you're subject to, TCQ coming in.
And
We
then,
have any liability when we do a hotel, motel?
You provide them all the notices for the administrative code.
plus some.
They know it's coming.
So like I said, so they've had 4 warnings, and I'm gonna send him there a 5th time, and if they have it, fine. If they don't have it, I mean, I don't know what else to do, we're gonna be in trouble.
And the majority of them are out of this area that have their mailing addresses. So,
Is this the first time it's been so enforceable or that?
Yes.
So
It
that's
has
why I'm
been,
not dragging their feet.
it was,
It's been-
it's a new law that they've got out, so we actually put a policy together, last year? Mike
it
actually
was a
put.
couple of years ago.
Mike put a policy together last.
The cross
last couple of
connection.
years. And we just stayed on them so hard to where we got it all done, but we're at the end of the road here. That's all I have.
Very good. No reason for executive session
No, sir.
today? Everybody good?
Okay,
All right, I need one more motion.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.